So you only make decisions that are going to benefit the lives of future generations. Pretty fundamental. If we had that in our world, we wouldn't be where we are now.
The Save the Soil meeting, and it's such an amazing organisation. It is absolutely brilliant, and I believe in what they're doing. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
I mean, I grew up, I'm getting on a bit, I grew up in a natural environment. I grew up in the country where my grandfather would go and collect sheep droppings.
So I wanted to pick up more information about the soil.
I've come from Yorkshire, where I operate on a very, very small scale with a tiny little cottage with a tiny garden.
Save soil. Thank you very much, first of all, taking your time to come here. And after COVID, I think this is our first event to have such a lovely crowd around. So, thank you very much. One of the reasons we put the Save Soil event today, Soil Song and Supper, is it's inspired by the journey of Sadhguru, a mystic yogi from India.
4 or 5 years, they don't think about the longer term, and he's really speaking about, come on, we need to have 15, 20-year plans around this to turn things around. And so far he's got over 2 billion tweets, 2 billion tweets supporting this campaign. He's trying to get to 4 billion. Phenomenal. So I just want to recognise Sadhguru for all he's been doing and the inspiration that he's created. Soil did come, put your hands in it later. And then with Tim, recently got involved with Tim. Tim's coming in and brings a wonderful energy and enthusiasm for making fabulous compost. Since those early days I've been wanting to make good compost, and with Charlie, who's at the back there, and Tim, we are making some fantastic compost that Tim will tell you about, which is much more than what compost, from my perspective, ever was. It's a real bio-nutrient feed. It's fantastic stuff. So that's a little background if we move on. So the good news, thinking about soil. Soil is phenomenal stuff. And it has this, and it's, I think a lot of us know it, but the web of miracles of life that weave through the soil, the biology of that is only beginning to be understood. When I was at agricultural college, we were taught about the chemistry and the physics of soil. We were not taught about the biology of it. And the biology is magic, it's phenomenal. And Tim will be talking to us about that later on, I'm sure. So, yes, we heard a few minutes ago, a teaspoon contains more organisms than people on the planet. That's a good soil. Phenomenal. Just the thought of that. How much life is going on in there. And yeah, it turns death into life. You know, it's phenomenal, isn't it? What else can consume, accept death and produce life? It is the very source, it's the heart, it's where we come from. And it's that magic, if we can learn to revere that and to fall back in love with that and to respect that and know that that is the source of our life, that would be a big shift. Currently, it is considered about 85% of most politicians and people in senior agricultural political roles believe that soil is just a substrate that you feed nutrients to. And they haven't got yet the miracles that are coming out from the people like Dr. Elaine in the States, who are unfolding this magic of biology that goes, the complexity that goes on in the soil. Yes, it's the largest organism on the planet. That's a mind-boggling thought in its own right. And let alone on the planet, Sadhguru says, in the universe. You know, as far as we're aware, this is the biggest organism in the universe. Yeah, we need to love and respect it. Yes. It helps us feel good. This is a recent one for me. I know when walking and being in the natural world, I feel better, I feel resourced. Only more recently I've realised that actually being in the natural world, it's as much that energy is coming from the soil and the life, the biology in the soil, that life in the soil, I feel we resonate with. And if we allow ourselves, you know, if you ever sat down in a field somewhere and felt, this allows you to go to a different place. I think it's the life in the soil that resonates with our life. We are 90% of our cells are what? Yes. They are bacteria. Yeah? I certainly wasn't taught that. We've been taught to clean off the bacteria, it's dirty stuff. Actually, it's so fundamental to our gut biome, and so the soil biome and our gut biome are very interrelated. And what we eat and what we feed the soil is this huge virtuous circle that can help us be healthy and help the planet. We only know 1% of the life in the soil, apparently. This is phenomenal. There is, it is an unfolding, but it is the threshold where a lot of science currently is. And there aren't that many people working on it, but it's becoming, it's very much talk of the town. You're in the Farmers Weekly, it's all about soil. Most of the farm conferences this year, a lot about soil. It is really on the cusp. So, let's just focus. We also need to focus on issues.
Yes, I'm all of those things, passionate about soil. Working with William, I work with a lot of other farmers as well. What it didn't really say in my biog, really, you know, because that all sounds lovely and makes me sound great. But what it doesn't say is that I've spent a fair amount of my career as a commercial agronomist. I have been working with farmers, commercial farmers that cultivate their ground, make commodities, wheat, barley, oilseed rape, all of those things, and I have used the whole plethora of pesticides and fertilisers. I've recommended those. I've profited from those, selling those things, and it never really kind of sat with me, but it was a way of earning an income. for my family, so my family didn't go hungry, if you like. Yes, I could do other things, I'm sure. But I just wanted to sort of say that because I want to sort of get across the fact that I'm very conventional, or I was very conventional as an agronomist. You know, I would be fighting against blackgrass, I'm fighting against cabbage stem flea beetle in your seed grade, all of these things. Spent a good many years doing that. When we are taught as an agronomist, we're taught, we have to pass exams, go on courses, be qualified to give advice, as is the law. I think I probably did about 6, 8, 12 weeks worth of training. I don't actually remember being taught anything about soil biology. Soil, yes, you know, sand, clay, silts and organic matter, yes, but soil biology, nothing, zilch. And that's one of the issues we've got, is a lot of agronomists out there working with farmers. We're not actually taught this at college. We're not actually taught this when we want to become an agronomist. But slowly but surely, farmers in particular have been sort of looking and seeing that the soil resource below them that's growing their crops is declining, and all of these things that William has said. And farmers are astute. They know their ground, they know their land, and they want to do things about it. And you know, a lot of farmers around the world, Gabe Brown, you know, the famous one, Jim Clark in America, but you've got Jake Freestone, Clive Bailey in the UK, and Tim Parton, a number of others. They've kind of said, right, there's a different way. We've got to look and treat our soil differently. We've got to manage our soil differently. And all of this inspired me to look at soil differently. And it kind of took me back to my childhood and my early careers of working in the environment and helping farmers with resource management. And it's like a eureka moment when you actually realise what's going on below our feet, what we're actually doing in our fields, growing food and stuff. It's kind of like, I can't be doing this anymore. I cannot be continuously just prescribing drugs, antibiotics, if you like, for crops. I've got to do something about it. And that's what I'm trying to do today, and you know, what I do with my farmers at the moment. So what am I going to talk to you tonight about? Hopefully it's not going to be too complicated, I don't want to be patronising, but too technical, but at the same time I want it to be a little bit technical. I want to talk about soil and us, and William's kind of like stolen a lot of that thunder, which is great, because repetition is... What is repetition? Boring.
No, it's good, it's good.
3 times you've got to hear the message before you'll buy it. Soil food web, I'm going to talk about the soil food web in a little bit more detail. Compost is fantastic stuff. You've all heard of compost, you buy it in bags from B&Q and stuff like that. We're not doing that, we're making something completely different. Now for something completely different. And I'm going to just talk about regenerative farming. Now, I know that a lot of you here are not farmers. Raise your hand if you are a farmer. You're 2 or 3, brilliant, fantastic. But but we're all gardeners or potentially gardeners and things like that. So when I'm talking about regenerative farming, you can just say regenerative gardening, and the principles are just the same. If you're interested in these, I urge you to read more about it and ask questions, of course. Right. I'm going to put some numbers to what William was saying. The soil and us, it's estimated that we contain about 39 trillion microbes, made up of about 10,000 species. As William said, there's more foreign DNA in us and on us than there is actually our own DNA. Without these microbes, we simply do not exist. We cannot function. We cannot digest food. We cannot fight diseases. things like that. If anybody's watched War of the Worlds, you'll understand what I mean. You know, that immunity to the common cold, which the aliens didn't have. Anyway, where do we get it from? Well, I think it's not going to be a big surprise, is it? We get it from the soil. And the soil and the human gut contain about the same number of active microbes. The soil, we've got anything up to sort of 1,000 million microbes per gram. You know, all of these figures we're sort of banding around. Lots of diversity within 1 gram of soil. The human gut, 10, what was that, trillion, something like that. You know, a lot within our sort of gut biome. There's microbes on our skin, on our hair, in our...
La 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 la. Let's save the soil. Yeah!